Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really digging into consumer privacy online.
Yeah, it's a huge topic. We've got some interesting sources lined up.
Right. We want to unpack what's going on with our personal data, the rules around it, and crucially, how you can get a better handle on things.
Exactly. Sort of cut through the noise, give you the clear takeaways on the data, the laws, and, some practical stuff too.
Okay, first up then, data collection versus data tracking. The sources make a distinction. Why is that important?
Yeah, it's key. So data collection, that's more specific. Like you sign up for something, give your name, email, maybe purchase history.
Okay, information we kind of actively provide, more or less.
Right. But tracking, well, that's the ongoing monitoring, what websites you visit, what you click on, even where you are sometimes. It's much broader.
So, like, collection is a snapshot, tracking is the movie.
That's a great way to put it, yeah. It builds a much richer profile over time.
Got it. Okay, let's talk laws. GDPR, CCPA, they come up all the time. What's the core idea for us, the consumers?
Well, fundamentally, these laws, GDPR in Europe, CCPA in California, but influencing things globally, they're about giving you rights, specific rights over your personal data.
Rights like, what can we actually do?
Things like the right to access the data a company holds on you, the right to correct it if it's wrong,
Okay.
and often the right to request deletion, to have it erased.
Deletion. That sounds powerful. How does that actually work if I ask a company to delete my data?
You usually have to submit a request, maybe through their website, but it's not always absolute.
Oh, how so?
Well, companies might have legal obligations to keep certain data for a period, or sometimes they might anonymize it instead of fully deleting it.
Anonymized. So they strip out the bits that identify me personally.
Exactly. The data might still exist in a form, but it can't be easily tied back to you as an individual.
Right, okay. Good to know. Let's shift to cookies. We see those banners everywhere, except all.
Yeah.
What should we actually be thinking about there?
Yeah, those pop-ups. The policy basically explains what cookies the site uses. The important thing is often the type.
Types. Like chocolate chip.
Not quite. More like first party versus third party. First party helps that website remember your settings, maybe your login, makes the site work better for you.
Okay, sounds useful.
Third party cookies, though,
Yeah.
they often come from advertisers or analytics companies. They're the ones used to track you across different websites.
Yeah. So that's the tracking part again?
Pretty much, yeah. So before just clicking accept, it's worth seeing if you can customize settings. Maybe only allow essential cookies, not the tracking ones.
Take that extra second. Okay. What about warning signs? How do we know if our privacy might have been compromised? Red flags.
Definitely things to watch for. Getting unexpected emails asking for sensitive info, seeing weird activity on your account's logins you don't recognize. Also, maybe charges you don't remember making, or just a sudden massive increase in spam or phishing attempts.
Okay, those sound like clear danger signs. If we spot something like that, what's the immediate next step?
First thing, secure your accounts. Change passwords. Enable two-factor authentication if you haven't already. Then notify the company or service involved.
Right. And depending on how serious it seems.
You might need to report it to your local data protection authority or maybe even consumer protection agencies.
Okay. Good practical steps. Flipping the coin for a second, why do companies want all this data in the first place? What's the benefit for them?
It's incredibly valuable for businesses. Personal data helps them understand their customers much better.
How?
Well, it allows for personalization, tailoring products, recommendations, website experiences, and of course, targeted advertising, which is a huge part of the online economy.
So it fuels the engine, basically, makes their marketing more effective, improves engagement.
Exactly. That's the business driver behind a lot of data collection and tracking.
Okay. So knowing all this, what tools can people actually use to sort of push back a bit and enhance their own privacy?
There are quite a few options, actually. Things like privacy-focused web browsers,
Yeah.
DuckDuckGo, Brave. They often have built-in tracker blocking.
Right.
Using a VPN, a virtual private network, can help mask your IP address and encrypt your connection, especially on public Wi-Fi.
Okay, VPNs. Heard of those. Anything else?
Ad blockers can be effective too, not just for ads, but because many ads contain tracking elements. And just being mindful of app permissions on your phone.
Yeah, that's a big one. So we've covered quite a bit. The difference between collection and tracking, those key laws like GDPR and CCPA, are rights to access and delete.
Cookie policies, red flags for breaches, reporting them, why companies want the data, and tools like VPNs and privacy browsers.
It feels like understanding is the first step to taking more control, really.
Absolutely. It's about being aware of the landscape you're navigating online.
Which brings us to a final thought for you, listening. In this world where everything's connected, convenience is king. What conscious choices are you making day to day to strike that balance between technology's ease and your own personal privacy? Something to think about. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.